decided I wanted to talk about Walt Disney and science fiction for the month of September, I thought there wasn't a better person to give me the backstory of how sci-fi became prominent in the Disney company than Christian Moran, the director of the YouTube documentary Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow, The Futurism of Walt Disney. He even spoke to people who personally knew Walt Disney, and they talked about Walt the man.
Ray Bradbury was a good friend of Walt Disney, and he always described Walt as basically a very positive person. And Walt was always looking for the newest thing, what's happening, where are things heading. In order to be successful from the very beginning, he had to find ways that technology would allow him to move the company forward and allow him to do things that no one else was doing. Through his celebrity, as he was introduced to more and more people, he was surrounded by people that were interested in the possibilities of the future and how to make the future a better place.
And Christian understands the mind of Walt because
I myself am a futurist and been very interested in ideas of how we could bring science fiction into reality. When I was 19, they were releasing the Walt Disney Treasures series on DVD. Through that, I found the Tomorrowland DVD of those. I was always a fan of Disney, but when I saw that, something clicked in my mind where I was like, this man, what truly was a visionary.
In 1955, Walt Disney's Dreams of Tomorrow first made their appearance in a way that people could actually see when he first created Tomorrowland as part of Disneyland. But there was one problem.
When Disneyland opened, the one land they really weren't able to do anything with was Tomorrowland, because it was going to be expensive. They ran out of funds. In order to have something there, Walt actually told the groundskeepers to go around and label all of the plants that had been planted with their scientific names. So there were big plaques out in front of all the plants in Tomorrowland.
However, that changed a few years later, and Disneyland started to become an experiment for a bigger dream.
Before he died, he had begun process on the big Tomorrowland expansion of the late 60s. Walt was able to use Disneyland as a place to do research and development for Epcot.
Spelled E-P-C-O-T.
He had his monorail running there. He was going to use the monorail for long distance travel in Epcot. He had the People Mover running there. He was going to use the People Mover for short distance travel at Epcot.
Of course, one question that will run through people's minds when thinking about what Epcot could have been is, would Walt Disney have been happy about the Epcot we got in 1982? Well, that answer is a little more complicated.
The easy answer is, would Walt have been happy with the Epcot Center in 1982? No, because it was another theme park. His whole intention for buying the land that became Walt Disney World was to build Epcot.
In fact, the heart of everything we'll be doing in Disney World will be our experimental prototype city of tomorrow.
If you look at his life, it's always this project led to this. Animations led to films, and films led to theme parks, and theme parks were leading towards something else. He was always, I've done this. What's the next thing? Where am I going? But I think that if he knew that they were going to build another theme park that was future focusing, I think that he would have been very proud of what they created, because particularly in 82 when Epcot did open, it was phenomenal, completely different from anything else that the Disney company had done, completely different from anything else anyone had done anywhere in the world.
And with the themes of the early Epcot rides,
if we can dream it, then we can do it. Yes, we can, yes, we can.
From the sea to the skies, there's a force beyond our rise. It's fun to be free.
A dream can be a dream come true with just that spark in me and you.
The future world is born today.
there's no doubt that Walt would have been happy, and that's just the front of the park.
He would have loved being able to bring nations of the world to Americans that most would never have the opportunity to travel to those nations.
Still, Christian wants to help bring Walt Disney's true dream of Epcot to life.
My father and I have a family foundation called Granttown, and our big project that we're working on currently is called GTEC, or Granttown Experimental Communities. And it really is basically picking up from where Walt's vision of Epcot left off.
Now, as for the movies, movies. It's no surprise that the Disney company's first science fiction film was 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, since Walt Disney loved reading science fiction, especially Jules Verne.
Walt was a big fan of Jules Verne. He just felt that 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea was a story that he wanted to tell. The book is kind of a very technical book, and Walt was always focused on how can we make the story flow and get the audience into it.
I realized that Walt Disney probably was the world's greatest storyteller.
Once they found the story, he threw all the weight of the Walt Disney Company and all the artistic power and monetary power they had behind it. New CinemaScope cameras. They had to build new housing and shells for the cameras in order to film underwater and to accomplish all those great special effects shots.
20,000 Leagues was the third highest grossing movie in 1954, and with Christian having a similar mindset to Walt Disney, I had to ask his opinion on what makes science fiction so attractive.
What attracts me to science fiction is it allows you to enter a world that we don't live in, yet we possibly could one day, whether it's the near future or the far future. I love fantasy, but fantasy is a world that we couldn't ever really live in. But the thing I think that's great about science fiction is that it allows us to dream of what could be possible. And when those ideas click with us, we can work together to help bring those ideas to reality.
To learn more about Walt Disney and his futurism, check out Christian's documentary Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow, The Futurism of Walt Disney.
You'll see his belief in what humanity could accomplish if we work together, and hopefully you'll believe that we can achieve greater things as a species as well, because I know I do.
If you're like me, you're not only going to laugh a lot, but you're going to shed a few happy tears.
I want to thank Christian Moran for his knowledge and willingness to explain Walt Disney's connection to science fiction and futurism. I will soon be reviewing a few Disney sci-fi movies coming soon. Thank you for watching, and please comment, like, and subscribe for more content.